Another day, another draft here on Splash Play. Stream draft number 124 for me in the year 2024. Best Ball Mania draft number 64 coming up. Of course, a half-point PPR draft for the sharpest drafters, the best market data as well. So we're going to see today on stream. This draft snap-filled for me. So that's why we're starting extra early today. Wasn't me just trying to completely shift the time frames. Was in fact me entering the room and going, oh shit, I guess I have to start doing the stream right now. But we are in the 3-hole. So as I've said multiple times on stream, I'm either picking in the 11-12 or I'm picking in the 3. And there's not been a lot of in between here for me lately. We'll see what we get in the 3-hole today. I don't think I can do Tyreek yet again. I think I would like to take a break from that if I can at the 3-hole, but we'll see what a JM07 and SND99 with their very non-generic usernames do for us in these first two spots here. Of course, Splash Play new drafts here Monday to Saturday every day at 11 a.m. So a lot of new streamers coming into Best Ball Town this time of year. But have no fear. We show up and do the work here same times every day and try to make it work as best we can. We'll see what we get today. What is going to come back to me, if anything, from SND? The same fucking bullshit is going to come back to me. Yesterday built a beautifully correlated Miami double stack, pushed 2 of 22 picks. Today, I'm not in the mood to do that. My ranks are Tyreek, Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Chase. Is this a day to get Jamar Chase? Don't want to be stone cold out on him. We'll get Jamar Chase today. Like Tyreek a lot more, like the situation for Miami more, even though I have the same concerns about everybody else's Miami, where last year I believe they were 1-5 playing teams above 500. We're much better against the dog shit teams that they beat up on, the Denver teams of the year that they put 70 on. Great in those situations. The year goes on, things get a little bit more ugly as they go. But we'll take Jamar Chase today, and I'll try to make the case that's pro Bengals, because anytime you're taking guys on a draft, you're making the case that these guys are going to have the year of all years. Can Jamar Chase have the year of all years? Talent-wise, for sure. In a Cincinnati situation where he's not getting an extension yet, might not get his extension until 2025. You have a malcontent T. Higgins there, who was already disappointed last year. We have another year of him not getting a good contract, got the 1-year deal. These are the cases I've made enough for Cincinnati. That's my vocalized concerns. But today will be pro Bengals, boys. We'll see what we can do. And I see part 3 of Leone's Manifest update. I have not. I'm sure I would like to watch it at some point. Morning Spags only do DraftKings, BBM drafts. Those would be different, but yeah. If you think drafters, underdog drafters do stupid shit, DraftKings drafters are mentally handicapped. Okay, I should have read the entire thing through. Yes, DraftKings drafters are the most unhinged out there. That's because you get the most casuals in there as well, because of the fact it's people who have DFS bankrolls, people have sportsbook bankrolls. They're all in one place so they can get that action on DraftKings. Whereas Underdog, like I play Underdog regularly. Obviously, you can put that together watching these streams here. But pick'ems, I can't play in Pennsylvania, so I don't have like a betting bankroll on there. I think that's the difference between the sites drafters. Obviously, there are pick'ems as well, but that's not a core focus of drafters. On DraftKings, it's just people have their role on there, and then they see, ooh, big tournament, I could win $1 million, and they put in an entry, and you end up with that as a result. But there you go. Mix it up with Bijan. Bijan at the 3? No fucking chance. You can get I just don't believe in stuff like that, especially in July and August. Like swapping one pick for Jamar Chase, who I know I'm completely out on basically at this point of the year. That's one thing. Going for Bijan, who I have enough of at this point, and reaching for him is not the kind of move I would make. So if you want to do that, sure, but not a thing I would want to do for my teams for sure. But I appreciate the concept. If nothing else, I guess 2 of you guys wanted that. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good not taking Bijan at 3, guys. Take Bijan when you're at 7, 8. If he falls to 9, don't do it at 3, I don't think. Not in July. All right, on the clock here again. So we've got Jamar Chase as the start. Debo, the ever slightest dip here for him. Waddle dipping again. So I can get Jalen Waddle, another player I'm iffy on. We didn't take Tyreek in the spot, so I do think there's logic to going Waddle one more time here. If you don't take Tyreek in the 3, you're kind of making a bet against Tyreek. We basically need Chase to beat out Tyreek over the course of a year. I think this particular build, I think the assumption would be that Tyreek gets hurt, because we're basically saying we took Chase over him, so that means that Chase is going to be better for Tyreek in week 17, let alone the entire season. And then Waddle benefits from not having Tyreek out there. I think that's the play. So I'll take the slightly discounted Waddle, even though, as I've mentioned, I find Neighbors to be a more fun click. I find Debo to be a better click in terms of just a guy that's a more important part of the offense that they can't get away from using. Waddle to me is like almost a luxury piece for Miami, a very well-paid luxury piece, but I think a luxury piece. But 0020 here. We'll see what we get at pick 27. All right, so I would have taken Mike Evans there if he had fallen to me. We do have Malik Neighbors. Cooper Kupp is coming up, huh? Casual season loves Cooper Kupp. I have no issue with Neighbors again. Taking a lot of Neighbors in these spots, but Neighbors wide receiver 3 feels pretty good. So Neighbors pick 27, come on down, basically right at ADP. Team so far, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Malik Neighbors. Would like to start to get more DJ Moore in the mix. Feel like I'm not getting spots where Moore is naturally there at ADP. Maybe at some point, again, once we get to July, later July, August especially, where I know my exposures, I've got 100 entries in, 120 entries in, something like that. That's where I think you start to dial in those guys more. Where you're trying to make up for exposure gaps, things that you fucked up in your process. For right now, though, still want to take the guys I like the most or guys that I could tell a story for. In this case, Jalen Waddle's a guy I could tell a story for, and Chase in this particular build is one as well. My takeaway has been I want to be avoiding the hero RBs as much. Okay. You won't be. Yeah, look, I like hero RB, but I like hero RB at ADP or for guys like a Brees. I like him coming a little bit after ADP if I can get him there. To me, like hero RB, if it's aligning at a point where you're scooping up the discount, that's where I'll do hero RB more so. Besides getting CMC at ADP, besides getting Bijan at ADP. But I think for me, like I really do think the move for hero builds, you go in with the intent of trying to go 0. If an RB falls to you and it's a good enough discount, you like the guy, or even if it's just a good enough discount, I think that's really just take the RB then and make your hero RB build work it out. See, Waddle's too expensive, IMO. Sure. Best streamers for DraftKings Best Ball. The only one I know does it regularly is Felix. I think Liam Murphy does a few streams as well. I think I'm one of the better ones doing it, but I've made my choices here where DraftKings for streamers out there, they don't actually give you any sort of financial incentive where you're not converting new people. They don't do sponsorship deals. They don't do anything. And they also get less views than doing underdog drafts and honestly get the same amount of views as doing drafters drafts. So for me, it was a bit of a choice about the strategy for it, but certainly DraftKings, there's people out there that do it occasionally. Even Fantasy Sanctuary does some as well, I think. Holy Piss picks 1 to 6. Yeah, this side of the board is definitely streaming wide receivers, and this guy is going to get buried in the avalanche. But reaching for Achane, not a great move. Reaching a little bit for Kyron, not a great move. Does get the discount Laporta, but you cannot go 4 rounds without wide receiver unless you are going to hit wide receiver impossibly hard from rounds 5 through 13. So if you want to try a build like Tupper here is doing from the 8 hole, I would really recommend not going away from receiver for a while. So we'll see what they do. Here we go. And rubbing it in my face, the start that I cannot get. Everybody else seems to. MHJ, Puka, and Kyron. This guy gets Puka and MHJ. Which doesn't happen in rooms for me. If I'm on the back of the board, Puka's going at pick 8. I cannot get Puka and MHJ. And that's going to be the one that wins week 17. I'm going to fucking kill myself. We can't say that stream. I'm going to whatever you're supposed to say. But honestly, that's the one. That's my favorite. That's my CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra from last year is the week 17 correlation between Puka Nacua and Marvin Harrison. And I can't get it for the life of me. So it'd be great if that does come through. All right, we're on the board here. 0030. A little bit of a fall for Amari Cooper, who we did see going 31 yesterday, either on purpose or accidentally. We will take Amari Cooper for the bring back on Cincinnati. If T. Higgins had fallen here, I might have considered it, but he did not. T. Higgins went to 36. That is an awful pick. Higgins at the 1-2 turn when you don't have Jamar Chase would not be my move. But, hey. They're not all my moves. All right. We got this next pick coming up. Can keep going 0 RB. Could be a time to end the fast. Correlation-wise, nothing we want to go out of our way to get here. Marquise Brown as wide receiver 5 doesn't feel too bad. We would run into the Kelsey drafter on the way back, though, if Mahomes were to fall. I think this might be a time for Dalton Kincaid. I've been not getting a lot of Dalton Kincaid on the year. Not entirely sure of my exposure offhand. Got to be close to 4 to 5%, I would think. Let me see. I'm going to check on a separate screen here. Actually, no, I've got 9.5% Kincaid. I'm shocked by that. I really need to, I think, consider using an exposure tool on screen here. But that's something we'll figure out in the future. Our guy, Mr. Poopy Butthole, working on the Mr. Poopy Butthole VTube stream software. All right. If you pull that off, I'll be intrigued. I'll watch it. I'll be curious to see how you do that. Still got to make the content bear out the qualities of Mr. Poopy Butthole. But hey, I shout out the effort. I always reward the effort if nothing else. My team yesterday's crazy nice team in the finals. Look, there's a lot of things. You can build a really nice team in July, and you need a million different things to work your way, including the pod luck, both of the pod itself and especially your playoff pods. But definitely felt that team yesterday I built was very clean, came out with a chip in my shoulder yesterday to build a really nice squad. And we ended up getting, I think, one of the better constructed, like structural squads I've had on stream in a while. A lot of having to pair together back stacks lately for me on stream, which is fine. But definitely, building the clean one. I get it. I missed on the AR and neighbors correlate. I'm not reaching for AR at 51. I like AR. He goes at 60. He goes at 70. You don't take AR at 51 if you can. There's nothing else there, sure, but there's a lot more there. You push stuff. Yeah, no, we're talking to him about it. The thing is, for me, like I am, I'm friendly / friends with Karain, friends with Brick, the Pound. So actually doing a call with Pat later today about it. So we'll see. But I'm a little bit conflicted about it. I also frankly think, given the fact that I have one of the best coders in the industry working for me, that I probably should build my own thing if I'm going to do that. But obviously it's not going to happen this year anyway. So we'll see. We'll see what we have. But I appreciate the heads up. There you go. People talking about it. We might do an affiliate deal with them. So keep your eyes peeled. Who do I like better as a third RB? Zamir or Brooks? Brooks. I think Zamir, real risk to lose the pass game work, real risk to lose red zone work. He's also like, so there was a photo of him look at the gym or whatever, and they're like, man, he's like jacked to the gills, kind of looking a little heavy for an RB, like a guy that we want to have some shiftiness, who doesn't have any shiftiness. Like he doesn't avoid tackles very well, and you could theoretically power your way to more avoided tackles, but I tend to prefer guys that go, yeah, I'm going to lose some mass so I can get more, laterally quick, can get more shifty, can get more burst going. That's really how I feel about how Zamir White looks in some of the photos that are going viral right now. He's a big dude. He's a big country strong dude who works out by like lifting sleds and stuff. This guy takes AR uncorrelated. Really thought we had a shot to get AR back at 70 here. But this guy is just drafting a dumb shit team. Really, like, I know people are going to see this team and go like, wow, he's got such talented players. And he does. Like, I love his RBs individually. I love Sam Laporta individually. I love AR individually. But you can't starve yourself at receiver that much in 2024. You're basically going to be building a team where your wide receiver 1 is going to be, a guy that's like wide receiver 30 right now in ADP. His wide receiver 2 is going to be a guy like who's wide receiver 40 in ADP. It's not where you really want your team to go. So I could see getting tempted there, but when you're in an avalanche, you got to recognize you're in an avalanche. This guy got avalanched. We got Odunze here. We have Kittle, Christian Watson. Would not be a bad time to start an RB run, but Odunze's fallen a little bit here. I think scooping the Odunze discount makes sense. Again, we're not correlating for anything yet, but just talent-wise and ADP-wise, Odunze is a 4-pick discount. We'll take it. Odunze, wide receiver 5, which is usually about the time to stop it. Give yourself some flexibility to grab receiver later on. Team so far is a 0-0-5-1. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Malik Neighbors, Amari Cooper, Rome Odunze, and Dalton Kincaid. So we have lived up to 0 RB guidelines here. No running backs through 6, and maybe around 7 will be when we go back to running back. But we'll see what comes back to us. The guy is a perfect example of why investing in RB has a bad advance rate. Yeah, you got to know that if you invest in RB, you go buy modal. Even if you go with the hyper fragile 3 RBs early, you just can't. Like Laporta here feels nice, but that's a pure luxury. You definitely can't scoop up AR. Like you definitely can't scoop up AR. He had to grab Rashee Rice. Like Rashee Rice gives you a shot here at guy that's theoretically valued as a 2nd, 3rd round pick who now has gotten down because of the suspensions, a few receivers being added as well. But that's what you should be trying to do is like you're making guys who can make a big leap upward. So he should have taken, I think, one of those guys, but he didn't. All right. So I was willing to take David Montgomery in the last pick. He comes back here. Of course, his ADP is at 75. Do we have any correlation? We do have correlation with Kenneth Walker, who is now also a discount. And you're not often getting Walker and Odunze together. I am not a Walker guy. I am much more of a David Montgomery guy. That said, you do have to break your priors sometimes. Kenneth Walker will be the pick here. Discount for Walker, almost 7 picks. Team so far, 0-1-5-1. Kenneth Walker, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Malik Neighbors, Amari Cooper, Romo Dunze, and tight end, we have Dalton Kincaid. So I am happy with this start. I'm not the biggest Walker guy, but if we're going to make the bet on him, as we always do, got to make sure we're making a bet that, correlates, that we can have some full-throated support for. And this is one, too, where I think Pat Corain said something recently on one of the streams. I forget if it was with Pete or one of the ones with Bime for. It's talking about the idea of when you hedge, people's tendency is to really overcompensate in terms of hedging, like where you pick guys that you don't normally like. You then go, well, fuck it, I'll draft a bunch of guys I don't normally like. And in reality, what you should do is you take a few guys you don't normally like, add on some ones you do like. I like Cooper enough, though I'm not taking a ton of him. I like Neighbors enough. I am lower on Waddle than market, though, if you don't take Tyreek, I see the potential a little bit more. Lower than market on Chase. So I'm worried I'm maybe hedging a little bit too much here by adding Walker on top. But we have Chicago-Seattle correlation. We've got stuff. Ultimately, that's it. Jaden Daniels at 85? Am I picking in the 12 hole? Oh, boy. Okay. Well, look, we do the rando rooms. We do it on purpose. We get it. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Tell you what, this is how you can tell it's not me in the 12 hole, though. I would never reach for T. Higgins. I would rather die than reach for T. Higgins and reach for Rashad White. So he's doing a lot of things that I would never do in a million years. But I'll tell you what, getting Jaden Daniels at 85, hey, no issue there. Good looking start. Thank you. Talking UGA RB high school physiques. I don't know about high school. Let's talk about Zamir White now. Big bulky boy. Joe Burrow goes unstacked to the guy. This guy's got 4 RBs through 5 rounds, and he takes Joe Burrow at 90. When you can get Joe Burrow, when you get Joe Burrow for free at like fucking 110, this guy reaches for Burrow. It's just bad picks. It's okay. Doesn't matter. I'm not tilting. You want to see me tilt? No. That's what I say. It's like, no, thank you. No tiltsies. We got DeAndre Swift here, who correlates with our bet. I do like capturing the market on week 17 RBs. As we saw last year, Breece Hall and Jerome Ford get there in the same game. And then you have the oppo outcome where it's like one team dominates, the other doesn't. RB more likely to make your roster. I'm going to take DeAndre Swift. Cannot believe that fucker took Joe Burrow. I was ready to take Joe Burrow today. I never take Joe Burrow. I was ready to take him. Granted, I was going to try to push him around a little bit, but unstack Joe Burrow. Bad picks. Bad picks. I'd love you at the poker table. I'm a very good poker player. I know when that, so the difference between playing poker to me, I mean, obviously I've only played live poker for the most part. I've never been an online poker guy. I don't need to tilt there. I know that that's not going to benefit me. So I know I have a cool hand for things I have to have a cool hand for. When I'm making content, doing a stream every day, that is where I can just cut loose. So that would be the difference between us at a poker table. Don't assume, how that would go. Okay. 0-2-5-1. A little bit of a fall on Moss, which gives us more Cincinnati correlation. I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth here. I'm happy to make this my 0 RB build. A 0 RB build with Kenneth Walker at a discount, Swift at a discount, Moss at a discount, along with Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle at a discount, Malik Neighbors, Amari Cooper at a discount, Romo Dunze at a discount, and Kincaid at ADP. This team is well built. This team is well built. We just got to stick the landing at QB. Knowing this room is one where people are reaching and doing shit with no correlation and no logic. So we'll have to survive that part, but the team looks good. Check my Hendon mob. What are you I don't play poker that much, man. I'm not as into that world. I have enough time to do a handful of things in life. That's best ball. That's knowing everything I can about football. That's building a betting startup. And that's raising a competent 2-year-old and occasionally being a passable partner along the way. Those are things I have time for. But please, I'm not a person that's going to World Series of Poker things and busting out in one day, like certain people that we know. All the micro discounts make the squad unique. I agree. There's a lot of guys that you don't normally get together. Like even Swift and Moss, like I'm sure some people are getting at the turn. But Moss is for a while was coming up to the 80s. So I'm shocked to get him at 99. This room is not the smartest. So this guy at the bend, this guy at the 12 hole, unstacked Jaden Daniels, unstacked Brock Purdy. I'll tell you what, guys, if there's one thing I think, we'll see what happens injury-wise. If the Commanders hit the skids, if Jaden Daniels gets hurt, my portfolio is completely fucked. Like, I know that right now. That's the risk-reward of making a bet that you believe in, you don't think is correctly priced. I will say, if there's one thing that single-handedly supercharges my advance rates this year, is trying to switch up my times to get in random rooms while still doing streams, because rooms like this, I never saw last year. Like, really. Like, I never saw these rooms because I would just start my time. All you guys would be in there. All the sharp drafters who follow the best ball streams would be in there. By just switching up my timings a little bit, like, we're talking a series of unstacked guys. You have a few sharp drafters, like Sheb here, not a bad. He goes 0 RB. He gets some fun players here. He gets Arizona Rams stuff. Like, great. Like, he's doing well. But a lot of these teams in this room are just really dumb shit teams, and in a way that's like pronounced. We could grab Caleb here, but I think we've got our Cincinnati back. I think we can push Caleb one more. Do you like Chase Brown for that correlation? But obviously we have Moss. I do think Brown and Moss can coexist together. Myers, Wicks don't do anything for me. I am going to go Chase Brown here. Have no issue with Caleb. Still think we have enough outs at QB that I'm comfortable with. So that's why we're going to push Caleb around, and we'll see if we get him back. And if we don't, frankly, I don't really care that much. Because I think I can, well, I don't want to spoil what I want to think here. Let's see what these guys do. Caleb goes, this guy, I assume. Oh, he's got Keenan Allen. All right, hey, we saw somebody take a correlation play, so more power to him. I don't really need Caleb in this build. I think this is more of a late QB build from how I'm viewing it. 0-4-5-1. What does SND do? I see one pick I would love to have for my, well, I don't want to spoil it. All right, so Judy, I would have been okay taking, but he wasn't my pick. Jerome Ford was my pick. Jerome Ford as RB5 in a 0 RB build, I don't think we're getting very often. You can make the case, I don't know, making a slight mistake here going with both Cincinnati backs, but to me, Moss and Chase Brown have different outs to get there. And they can both get there in the same game with like one touchdown each through different ways. So we have a 0-5-5-1 right now. We have Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford. We've got Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Malik Neighbors, Amari Cooper, Romo Dunze, and Dalton Kincaid. So really well-rounded team so far. I would say we could be done at RB, though I think when we have Moss and Brown together, we probably want to add on a sixth. But I don't think we hit that sixth for a while. So that's what I'm going to plan to do right now. Am I licking my chops for the casuals coming in August? It depends. I mean, it depends what I'm doing on stream, where if I'm getting in rooms with different people, like, yes, I think that's more fun. You could see here the flip side of it, where I got a lot of good values. I've built a nicely constructed team, but some stuff that I would normally do in this kind of build, where like if I'm making a bet on Jamar Chase, I want to take Joe Burrow, but then we have a dumb guy taking Joe Burrow unstacked at 90. If I want to make a bet on Jaden, it's like, okay, he could be my bailout guy where I stack some Washington on. He goes unstacked at 85. There's like enough dumb shit happening in the room that I think that's where, you know, you're getting the other side of the coin. But to me, if you're getting any shot at just having softer rooms, having softer pods for yourself, like, is really one of the biggest things that I think streamers, you talk yourself into the opposite thing. And even talking with Pete on Monday on his stream, where he's like, yeah, you know, I suck it up. Like, this is just what it is for me. And it's like, I don't think it has to be. Like, I think if you just do like, you know, Neil does, or like Liam does, where you do your stream at random times and you just then, you know, you hit the draft, then you do your stream on top of it. I think that's the better move for you to protect your EV. So I think that we'll have a better EV, but it's going to be less clean if I'm drafting with the people who just take on stack shit a lot. But again, like, you give me guys that are going to not take a receiver through 5 rounds. Like, I want that in every pod if I can get it. Did I max Pitbull? No, I did not. My entries are only going to BBM this year. Again, I've tried to be like as transparent about it as I can. I'm funding a startup. I'm trying to keep bills afloat in the meantime. I'm funding BBM. I don't know what I'm going to do with DraftKings yet, but that's basically it. That's my bankroll for the year, is keeping a startup alive and playing BBM. But no Pitbull for me. Schnauzer I did because it was fun and cheap. Pitbull I cannot put enough to max. And if I'm not maxing stuff, I generally don't want to do it. Shout out to all you guys watching live right after the fact. Of course, new drafts going every Monday to Saturday at 11 a.m. So please do subscribe down below. Hit the like button. Your engagements matter a bunch right now because best ball, as you guys know, crowded space in July and August. That said, I've been here doing drafts every day since January because I think it's important to show the work, to talk about the work as we go. And that's what I'd like to do here. Tua goes. If Tua had been there at 142, I would have considered him. Unfortunately, he goes to the guy who got Tyreek. Nothing uncommon there. Not the greatest pocket in the world here. I don't get enough Burton. I think this feels like a Burton team. Just get add-ons to the Cincinnati bet without the QB. I'm perfectly fine with. And then maybe we'll do something else on top of that for cheap a little bit later on. I don't want to spoil my thoughts here, but a 0.561. Again, I need to be mindful of not getting boxed out at QB because this is a room of people that are not the sharpest. And as a result, they're not staying in their lanes. They're grabbing stuff that's uncorrelated. So I need to make sure to stick the landing on this. But I do think Burton is a nice Cincinnati bet here to pair with that. And again, no Higgins in this build as well. So we're making the anti-Higgins bet I think inherently comes with Burton, which I like. If you're betting on Burton, you should be betting against Higgins. All right, 0.561 here. What are we doing? All right, Chubb goes. A little bit of a fall for Kendra that makes him an interesting RB6 in this kind of build. A lot of RBs, a lot of RBs coming up. Cole Kmet for the Chicago-Seattle thing. I think I just have to scoop Kendra here. You know what? Yeah, let's scoop Kendra. Let's scoop Kendra. Too much of a discount on Kendra, who's coming up. I don't get why he'd be 8 picks cheaper. So I think we're done at RB. I was trying to keep some flexibility there in case I had to stack QB with RB later on. But I think we can hit QB coming up soon and keep this going and build this team into a behemoth of a 0 RB team. Like if you have a 0 RB team like this one, people might freak out about all the week 12 buys. Don't. But really, this team is probably the best 0 RB run I've had, I think, this entire offseason. So Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford, Kendra Miller, all guys with at least partial roles. Some guys who should be lead backs, some guys who should be the touchdown soaking up player. All those are good. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Malik Neighbors, Amari Cooper, Romo Dunze, Jermaine Burton. So we have Cincinnati bets here, have some inter-team correlation for Miami, Cleveland. And we have Dalton Kincaid as tight end, who's an elite tight end who I'm happy to have. I really like the team. Then got to get QB right. Got to avoid these guys fucking me at QB, but I feel good about it. You have Spags been watching Hard Knocks? I've been watching all the clips. I think I'm actually going to try to force myself to watch the full episodes today. I've enjoyed what I've seen. I enjoyed the QB diagramming stuff. Saw all the guys doing that. I enjoyed Jane Daniels saying, like, what do you want me? Like, they're asking, what are you going to do on this play? He's like, I'm going to throw a touchdown. Like, that's probably not the level of insight that you're looking for. But I think that's certainly what he is to me. So I was glad to see that. Caleb breaking down a play. Drake May broke down the play well, but he's also been doing that for video for Underdog. So I'm sure that helped him out. But yeah, I think to me, that's mostly all I've seen so far from this past episode. But I think it's been a good one. It's hard for me to like Hard Knocks that much once it became kind of just like a pure PR play for all the teams out there that are on it. But that said, you know, I think they're doing a good job for what I've seen this year. So I'd actually like to watch it. Receiver's more compelling. We have receiver coming out today on Netflix. Like somebody said earlier, happy receiver day. I didn't watch quarterback either. I also kind of think some of these things, part of the issue I have with Hard Knocks as well, besides it being like just a pure PR mechanism, is also that it can kind of change your priors in a way that's not helpful. Like when they focus on this guy at camp who's wide receiver 4, who's having a good one, you're like, man, this guy's really good. He's going to make the roster. And then the guy doesn't make the team. I think those are the things that I have a little bit of a hesitation with. But still, you know, well-made show. Well-made show. If I get fucked a QB, Carr/JJ/Perry is your favorite last 3 pick stack. Interesting. Yes, that's probably a live bailout. I like A.T. Perry. I would probably go Cedric Wilson for right now just because of the fact they did pay him. He's running with the first team out of the slot, has had less egregiously shitting on him quotes. So we do get Deshaun back. Great. Sean, one of the picks here for sure. Not going to push it. Both these guys have 2 QBs, so I could have, but there's really nobody else on the board who matters more for this team at this point. So Deshaun Watson, QB1, of course, correlates with our Miami bet, correlates with our bet on Jerome Ford, and of course on Amari Cooper. So that's what we're supposed to do with QBs, and we did it. We stacked up crazy. We stacked up a QB. We did it. Our guy Brandon, first live show of the season for me. Time to grind. Oh boy, you missed a lot, Brandon. There's been a lot of takes given out. Hey, if ever you want to catch up and go all the way with it, there is now a 125 stream playlist or I guess 125 draft playlist now on the channel. So you can start from day one if you wanted to really dig in and get every take I've ever had and see how they evolve. But I think, frankly, watching that playlist would be fun to rewatch for some people out there because you can see all the shit that I got very right along the way. Geno Smith goes here. He would have been live for me. I think he went to the Metcalf drafter. This is, by the way, not what to do. So this guy desperately needs more receivers, and instead he takes a Geno double when he's already got the stack covered here with Metcalf and Lockett. You don't want to get 2 QBs. If you're taking 3 QBs especially, you don't want 2 QBs from the same game. You want to extend your game stacks beyond. That's the big benefit of taking 3 QBs. You take 3 QBs from the same, or 2 QBs from the same game. It's a lesson I learned last year that was not beneficial. All right, so we're not going to have a Cleveland tight end coming back. We have Troy Franklin and Mims here, who I think are both appealing. I think we're going to get much worse at tight end if we don't go Noah Fant here. So I'm going to go Noah Fant. Oh, God, but if I'm going to set up fucking... No, I got to take Troy Franklin. Got to take Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin, wide receiver 7 here. You might be able to guess what I'm trying to do for the week 17 correlation at this point, but I'm not going to spoil it. If you see where I'm going with it, more power to you. 1671 here. We've got Deshaun, QB, our only QB so far. We got Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford, Kendre Miller. At wide receiver, we've got Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Malik Neighbors, Amari Cooper, Rome Odunze, Jermaine Burton, Troy Franklin. At tight end, just Dalton Kincaid. So would have liked to have gotten tight end 2 here. I think we're going to have to push that back around. I see a pathway to doing it and feeling okay about it, though. So that's where I'm at right now. I think this might be a 3 QB build. Probably going to be a 3 QB build, but I'd still like to keep it as a 2 tight end build if things work out my way. All right. Check the chats here. Did I see Jillian Nice on vacation? Creamy Sauce, I think we're done with you. You can't just come in and always be a shithead. You got to contribute something that's actually of use sometimes. So see you later, Creamy Sauce. Try another account if you want, but I just don't need it. It's basically how it is. You guys are watching the only channel, by the way, the only best ball channel that I just go, I don't need you as a viewer. And then they still watch and leave downvotes. But Creamy Sauce has been a troll for a while. No, thank you. Let's see. Couple teams in here really battling to be the one to pay the rake. Look, I never want to say anybody's paying the rake here because anything can win. That said, I really think, and I say this too, being something that goes on Twitter and mostly just like I promote my stuff on Twitter. I'll occasionally give a Kendrick Lamar related tweet or a Drake bashing tweet. Those are what I do on Twitter. I go on now every day and I see people talking themselves into the dumbest shit builds. Like, no respect to Eagles here, but like, so it's mostly how people respond to him. Regal, the guy Eagles, of course, does a lot of drafts here. I think is a perfectly lovely human being who cares a lot about best ball. That said, he put together a team where it was like Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, and then he had, I think, JJ McCarthy and Sam Darnold. And it's like, so you're basically playing to give yourself 2 zeros at QB. Like, it's not the way to play it. And I think people are now just getting into this mindset of like, they saw the BBM winner. They think anything can win because of what won BBM last year, the guy Fareed Shaheed. And they missed the part where it's just stacking and textures of stacking on top of that in week 17 correlation. And he got sniped on stuff and then he had to go different directions. But I think that's the part that people miss a lot. And it, frankly, it's not a good thing for people to be missing. Bo Nix, we could push Bo Nix, right? Can we push Bo Nix? And there's too many outs here for me now. You know what? I don't know if this needs to be a Bo Nix team. I'm going to go Daniel Jones for this one. I like Bo Nix. I would like to wait on my Bo Nix stacking a little bit much. Took a lot of him early. I think that's basically it. Let's see what we get in this next pick here. But Jones, I do expect to come up a little bit from the hard knocks of it. I think he's gotten enough good signal from the team on that. I think Daniel Jones will be treated a little bit more like not a certainty, but a guy who's going to be a starter. Even though there is the risk for Daniel Jones, where if that team runs poorly, he's probably not playing after a certain point because of his injury guarantees. That said, I do think that when you have Malik Neighbors, you are inherently making a bet on Daniel Jones. So we're making the bet. We'll make the bet. All right, we have a 2-6-7-1 here. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is take my tight end too. Is going to be Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson, I have no apprehension about. He's supposed to be ready for week 1. At this point, we have the bet on New Orleans, so we're going to do that. And basically what I'm assuming here is I will keep myself alive for 2 QBs to come back to me, or I can go with a Giants receiver for Daniel Jones. So just giving myself optionality here. We have a 2-6-7-2 build. We have Deshaun Watson, Daniel Jones. Again, guys like Creamy Sauce who just don't understand like football in general are going to go. That's a really thin QB room. Ultimately, we have 2 mobile QBs, guys who I would say, can it get worse? It can get worse if they lose their jobs, but if they're playing, it really can't get worse for either guy this year. And both guys as well, the team knows like the situations they put these guys in last year. So that's really my logic for both of them. I can live with it as a 2 QB build, to be honest, because they're both starters. Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford, Kendre Miller. Again, very good RB room, loaded RB room, chock full of minor values here, sometimes up to 10 picks. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Malik Neighbors, Amari Cooper, Romo Dunze, 5 receivers through 70. So that allows us to go away from the position a little bit. We did reach for Jermaine Burton here to get a little more of a Cincinnati correlation. Troy Franklin on top, Dalton Kincaid, Juwan Johnson, and we'll see what we get on the way back. I'm happy with the team. I can always live with thinner QBs. I think people sometimes miss the fact that, especially heading into a week 17, any QB can win a week 17. Last year, Jordan Love wins it all over guys like Josh Allen, guys like Tua, guys who were good all year, who mattered a lot. That's what ultimately matters there. So this construction is okay. Third QB would make me feel better, probably make you guys feel better, but who knows? That is right. He did say the Giants GM, Joe Schoen, I think is the last name, said they weren't paying him to hand it off, and that's basically it. They didn't want to pay Saquon either to be the guy getting the ball handed off to him. So I agree. And they've also talked about the O-line, some of the stuff that I've seen from Hard Knocks as well. Does seem like awareness of what needs to be fixed. Whether they actually follow through with what the fix is, who knows? Can I field a roster for week 12? Yes, I could field a roster for week 12. We only need 2 RBs, first of all, but yeah, we have 3 guys there. You can field a roster for week 12. You can lose points in 1 week. I like this one with rate B-. Thank you. I think the RBs and wide receivers, I would say more of a B+. QB definitely drags it down. And tight end too, frankly. Tight end, I think I got right with Kincaid. Dylan Labe getting drafted here. All right, we're on the clock here. What do we do? I mean, I think I have my lean for sure. I think it should be Bo Nix, but I don't mind putting Jalen Hyatt on top. Bo Nix, with the bet we have on Cincinnati, we get the other game stack in. Can Bo Nix outscore? I think he can outscore Deshaun and Daniel Jones. All right, Bo Nix, 3 QB build. So the team here, a 3-6-7-2. This might be the fastest draft that's ever occurred, which makes me want to do a second, but I think I'm going to cap it at 1. We got Deshaun Watson, Daniel Jones, Bo Nix. We got, oh shit. Never mind. Hold tight on that one. Let's read the team. Deshaun, Daniel Jones, Bo Nix, Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, fuck me. I'm doing another draft, by the way, guys. I thought I didn't enter it, and apparently I did. Deshaun, Daniel Jones, Bo Nix, Kenneth Walker, DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, Chase Brown, Jerome Ford, Kendre Miller are the RBs. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Malik Neighbors, Amari Cooper, Romo Dunze, Jermaine Burton, Troy Franklin, everything correlated here for the most part, which I like a lot. And then tight end, Dalton Kincaid, Juwan Johnson. Not as perfect as yesterday's team was, but I think a really good one. And we're doing a second draft, which was not intentional. Basically, Underdog errored out on me as I clicked it and was like, I guess it's not meant to be. Turns out it is meant to be. So 2 drafts today. That one got done in under 40 minutes, which is a land speed record for a draft. And as I've talked about here, this is fucking what it is for me all year. 3-hole, 11-hole, 12-hole is all I'm getting. The RNG is killing me. The RNG is just ruining my life unless we get Puka-MHJ back at 12. So yeah, that's how it goes. This draft will be fucking an hour 20. that's going to go. Bounce back QB candidates, I agree. Deuce Vaughn, yeah. Well, unfortunately, you can't draft him as a receiver now, given that he's a slot receiver. I'm sure it's going to do really well there. Surprise indeed. Surprise indeed. Yeah, double header here. Surprise to me because it wasn't the plan, but we'll make it work. And guys, hey, if you enjoy surprise second drafts, please do hit that like button, subscribe down below. Your engagements matter a bunch from here. Same thing on Twitter. Hit the follow button, hit the like button on there as well. It all goes a long way here for me, a sole proprietor here, showing my work here on stream, giving away EV and giving away my own takes and stuff as best I can, including the data, including things and how I see it. So please go check that out. Derrick Henry at pick 6. Oh boy, this is why we do the second draft, I guess. This is why we draft in July and August. Come on. Please give me what I want. Give me what I want. Oh God, I'm scared to look because this could be the first time we get the fucking build that everybody else gets. The Marvin Harrison Puka-MHJ is on the table. If these guys don't fuck me, you take AJ Brown, you take Garrett Wilson, we're good to go. Come on, FF Dan. Come on, FF Dan. Bah! God damn it. Even in a room where somebody takes Derrick Henry at 6, I can't get Puka-MHJ. Fuck, that's the real tilt, guys. I want that so bad, and I can't fucking get it. Oh, you bastards. Fucking somebody takes Henry at 6, and I get no discounts back to me. Oh, this is such a fucking fuck draft. All right, Garrett Wilson, fucking share number, 3 for me on the year. You cocksuckers. Sorry, I don't know if we could say that word in 2024, but I'm saying it. And I guess MHJ, whatever. Garrett Wilson, MHJ. Unbelievable. So this is a tilt, man. I can't fucking get this. I want it so bad. I want Puka and MHJ so bad. That is such a winning at the turn combo. And if you layer on McBride, you layer on Kyron somehow, you could game stack that entire game with your first 4 rounds. I think that'd be really sick look together. And here I just can't pull it off. I want it so bad. It's unbelievable. Henry to the moon. Tilt on pick 1. There we go. That's alive was gonna short out my mic. No, we got a pad here. Got pop pad. Pop filter, I think is the technical term. It's okay, you don't even want it. Oh, I'm gonna make you run a lap at him for that. Shit, man. If ever there were a time, what is this fucking dumb shit gonna do in 6 next? Oh boy. This is why we do the drafts. To get guys taking Derrick Henry at 6. But it's really, this is like the worst carnival consolation prize. I make the analogy all the time. Splashway being a beloved local carnival that shows up every day. And like, yeah, the rides maybe can kill you. Maybe some things that can happen. But still, like, this is like getting the bad prize at a carnival where it's like, oh man, I made 3 hoops in a row on the basketball hoop. It's like a little bit too tight for the basketball. I should be getting a sick prize. And it's like, no, here's SpongeBob smoking weed bootleg from China. That's what I'm getting with Garrett Wilson at pick 12. Can't wait for Barkley Henry. People are calling it. No, Mike Evans at 19. So less of an egregious reach, but drafting the 2017 All-Stars is pretty rough. You can't get Puka-MHJ. I approve of you not. Yeah, of course you approve of that, Jeff, because you're cash rich on Puka and MHJ. Even our draft stalker gets Puka and MHJ in rooms right in my fucking face, and I can't get it once. It's baffling to me that I've not gotten that fucking combo once. With how often I'm picking out the turn in rooms, I should have that combo like 5 times. I've gotten it fucking 0. Drive me nuts. 7 spot early winner, unique start. Yeah, early winner. Remember, you got to keep doing good things throughout the draft. Hard to let win money with shit like that. Yeah, I think he's probably not going to be winning much money. If you're going for Derrick Henry at 6, I don't think you're going to be winning much money. Unless we're back in 2018. And then, hey, more power to you. Equity swap a few of my Puka-MHJ teams for a few of my Lamb teams. Sure. If we get to the finals, I'm happy to, or to the playoffs, I'd be happy to do it. God damn it, man. Can't believe this is draft number. Oh, I should change the banner too. Hold on, because I never do this, but I should make sure to do it here because I never do it. This is draft number 125 for me, streamed on the year. BBM number 65 for me. So yeah, 65 drafts in, not one combo of MHJ and Puka-Nakua. If I get to 75 and there's no MHJ Puka-Nakua, I'm gonna quit. I'm done. I'm done streaming. My quest to have the most streams in 1 year, I'll give it up if I can't get MHJ and Puka by draft number 75 in BBM. Got a lot of Puka, but a case could be made. He's the worst wide receiver in the first round. It's Garrett Wilson's the first wide receiver in the first round. Die on that hill. Puka-Nakua had one of the best rookie years ever. The no case against him is like so did Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden never had a year that was much better than that year. But Puka-Nakua could have his exact same year as last year, and that's still good enough for you to have success in what you're trying to do. So that's how I would feel about it. But certainly, people feel differently. I get it. Sure, I got Tim here. Some of the old regulars. I think Tim's an old regular, right? Hopping back into the mix here now that we are in the casual drafting season where guys take Derrick Henry at pick 6. So glad to see Tim back in here. Glad to see some new names, some old names, whatever. Of course, if you're new to Underdog, use promo code SPLASH on there. Get your deposit match with bonus cash, rather. $250 in bonus cash. Stephon Diggs at 34 would have been nice to get back. Can I get anything back? In this room of fucking idiots, can I get something good back for me? For Spags? The one who matters in the room? the main character of the draft room? Can I please get something that is nice for me back? Though honestly, much better that this isn't one of the rooms with a bunch of regulars. Gonna be so fucking pissed at you guys soaking up all the ADP value as I'm just here like just getting the same shit you get these spots anyway. Tank Dell, slight discount here. Josh Allen, a player who exists in football. Motherfucker. I mean, Tank's one of the picks. I know that. Fucking 1 pick discount for Tank Dell, sure. How could we pass that up? How could we pass up such a sweet value? Such a unique combo to get Tank Dell at 36. I think at this point, we have the bet on the Jets. I don't make this bet very often. Jets Buffalo bet. I just think that game is going to be ugly by the time we get to week 17. But who knows? Would have thought the same thing about Jets Cleveland last year. So Josh Allen, come on down. Josh Allen at ADP, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell. Not a bad start if Garrett Wilson isn't the worst receiver in football in the first round. That's basically it. Take Hurts unstacked. There you go. No value happens at the bookends. It's not always true, but it is a decent rule of thumb. Puka's lack of red zone looks are troubling. You don't want to dig into a lot of these guys then. There's a lot of troubling lack of red zone looks for some of these guys. Full 2 rounds of Spags losing his shit. The sad part is, and I really again, I don't want to be, I hate being the monkey in the cage, the zoo animal getting prodded, like was what they wanted us to be when I was at Barstool. That said, I hate seeing the views go up when I'm fucking losing my mind. But I recognize that it does. So I will let it happen, but it's all genuine. I'm not going to force it. Unfucking believable. 12 holes and nut low. I mean, look, last year it was great. Last year CD Amon-Ra was great. I still do like having the ability to dictate the board a little bit from the ends of the turn where you can reach for somebody. Like I could reach for anybody up to pick 59 theoretically at this pick. So I think that's the flexibility that I like at the turn. But when you're at the turn and everything gets scooped away and it's like you're just left with the same picks at ADP that you would have normally, a little bit less fun. I throw a glass at the wall. I'm never going to be that mad. I'm never going to be so mad that I would break my own things. The dumbest thing I've ever done on stream was back during the pandemic when I was doing the streams for FanDuel. We were doing the simulations for Stochastic where I simmed NFL, Josh and Laffy simmed NBA. And we got through the entire playoff or whatever of what that was for FanDuel. And at the end, I poured champagne on myself to celebrate. And it got a little bit on my laptop. Thankfully, nothing got fucked up. It's the closest I've been to ruining things of my own content operation. But in general, no. You won't catch me go that far. In the 12-hole draft, got Reed/Allen Falls the 5-6 turn. Oh, Keenan Allen. Not Josh Allen. If you got that, then that would be great for you. But yes, that's fine. It's not too bad. Hard to get Brees and Wilson on the same team. That's true. think that might be one of the only shares or one of the few shares I have of Garrett Wilson was a Brees Wilson team. Because then it makes sense to do it if you don't like the guy that much. 12 holes, only positives around 2 players are so flat. You can do low owned combos at least. But again, you shouldn't be doing it right now. Like, that's the thing that I really disagree with people drafting at this point. If you're maxing out your team in July, sure, or maxing out BBM in July. But if you're drafting, planning to draft until August, let alone first week of September, assuming that BBM is still open, you shouldn't be reaching for unique combos right now. I personally don't think. Maybe different configurations of the guys on the turn, but I wouldn't do the unique combo thing too much, personally. 2-hole has a fun start. Like fun as in dumb. But he got the discounted Jonathan Taylor and Saquon, but he's burying himself at receiver. He's burying himself at receiver. So I don't think that fun. I mean, it depends what he does with the rest of his team. I think NF42 is a good drafter. I think I've seen him draft enough, but he 3 RBs in the first 5 rounds is going to make it. So you got to really hit that wide receiver hot and heavy. That's true. RB Piggy. I've been not playing enough gifts lately because I'm too in the zone, but this is absolutely deserving. 2-hole deserves that. Frankly, the guy picking Derrick Henry at 6 also deserves that. The guy picking Derrick Henry at 6 also deserves this. That's absolutely a chunky drafting Derrick Henry at 6. Lots of RB Piggies in this room. That's why we like casual rooms. For better or worse. We'll take it. Quick plug as well for drafters, guys, because we will be doing drafters again on Saturday. So if you haven't played on there, no playoff pods, 17 weeks, full point PPR, total scoring on that one. Really do love drafters as a site. And we'll be back giving away 4 free tickets as well to the Drafters Million on Saturday. So $50 entry fee, $500K to first place. If you want to break from BBM, I would recommend checking out Drafters as a different site. Gives you different looks. You build better teams. And of course, last year I only put in 9 entries, finished top 110. A couple guys in the community finished top 100. One finished top 5. So go check out Drafters as well. Promo code SPLASH on there gets you up to $100 in deposit match. And great rake back as well for the Drafters Million. And also, make sure to hit the join button down below, guys. If you're watching live here, I do give away my rankings every week. Give people 10 team reviews a month, which I know I owe a few guys, so stay tuned. If you are on Discord, you'll be getting reviews after the stream. But check that out as well, and you get a VIP Discord as well as part of it. So VIP Discord, 10 team reviews a month for me, which are thorough, not just player take-based, about structure, about your tendencies that I observe. So that's part of it, and then the Discord itself. So, and of course, my rankings, 275 plus blurbs. So check it out. I know they're the best rankings in the biz, but I do care a lot about them and put probably way more work than, frankly, $5 a month deserves. But it's year one. I want to show value to you guys. So hit the join button if you can. All right, picks coming up here. Dalton Kincaid back. All right, finally, fucking something working out for me. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll take Dalton Kincaid and James Cook, idiots. Fucking let me have a good time here. Don't let me get off. James Cook, come on down. We're building out this Buffalo Jets bet. So the team now, a 1-1-3-1, 2 Dalton Kincaid drafts today, which I can live with. We got Josh Allen, James Cook, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Dalton Kincaid. Of course, love AR here. AR does not make sense for this build. We do not need to add a second elite QB on when we do have perfectly suited correlation coming right back into my lap. So I'm still tilted about not being able to get MHJ and Puka in any fucking room. Still tilted about everybody else getting the value here. But Kincaid at 60, pairing with my guys and Garrett Wilson at a slight discount, doesn't feel too bad. Benjamin did say this earlier. Feels good until it doesn't. There we go. Nice land, a clean stack. Fire. Very nice. There we go. Don't let Spags get started with a good time. That's true. Yeah, they all fucked up. Zone Chuba, I appreciate the support. The blind support is all I could ever ask for here. We get Adam, who calls me shit, calls out my shit, and calls me shit sometimes. The rest of you guys, just give me hugs. Give me big old hugs. Spags accidentally starting a second draft to get another casual room is sending me anything to try to get the Puka-MHJ start. To be clear, I'm never going to open up my room to people. That's not my approach. If you guys get into a room, I'm not going to be mad at you for it. But I'm not somebody that's like, hey, let's all draft together. Like, it kills your EV. It kills mine. For anything, I do it for myself, but for you guys as well. That said, people know enough to time me out. So you can time me out if you want to. But I was trying to sneak in no matter what. So it was either not do a second draft or sneak into a draft. So you got the better option out of the two if you enjoy my content. But I appreciate you, Sebastian. Appreciate you wanting to be in a room. Appreciate you, Karen. Genuinely. Didn't sound genuine, but it's genuine. Hate how both the Bills and the Jets have week 12 buys. Yeah, the week 12 buys are creeping up on me. I still think week 14 buys are the worst, but 14, 6, 12, those seem to be the big ones that you have to deal with the most. Bills gauntlets. Ooh, I like calling them gauntlets. I always say alpha stack for things, but I think gauntlet works. And obviously, we still have some receivers for the Bills to get let, so that'll make it easier for us to catch up on the 3 receivers that we have so far. Yeah, Henry went 106, and this guy hasn't done anything too batshit. Actually, no, he has. Never mind. I didn't realize he took Jameson Williams at 54. Yeah, this is not a good team being built in the 6 hole. Got to be honest. I know people hate to hear that. Sometimes these guys like come across the stream afterwards and then get mad at me because they're like, "Well, you said my team's not good. What have you done?" And it's like I've read articles, I've read data, I've made 4 finals in the last 2 years. Like I've done enough to say not how you want to build from the 6 hole, but he's reaching for everybody. Jameson Williams, 30 picks ahead of ADP. Najee Harris, 20 picks ahead of ADP. Killing yourself. There are so many better ways to spend $25. There's so many better ways. And I would say this to anybody too. I do encourage anybody who's new to the world of best ball. Like, look, you don't want to come in blind. You don't want to come in assuming you know everything. I did that year 1, too. You know what happened? Ryan Fitzpatrick was one of my highest exposed QBs the first year I did best ball because I was like, I just didn't know. Wasn't maxing things out, so I didn't invest the time and knowledge accumulation. And I was like, you know what? Ryan Fitzpatrick loves throwing the ball deep. Love the situation. In Washington, I think it was when he was that year. That's the kind of thing you do when you don't do the work, when you don't follow the Mike Leones, when you don't follow the basics that Pete beats in your head, that Pete Overs that beats in your head over and over again on the short form videos and his streams. You can't take Brock Bowers at 78. It's just bad. It's just a bad team. Don't do that to yourself. If you see the 6 hole and you're like, man, I'd love to do a draft like that, just please like save yourself money and just try to learn a little bit before you hop in. Do the cheaper drafts. Do the cheaper drafts. Anyway. People talking unstacked Stroud. So people disagree about whether an RB QB stack is unstacked. They're correlated bets. That is still kind of unstacked, but it's a correlated bet, so you could do it. Not what you should do, though, because if you are taking Stroud, you're basically going to be going in the finals. Let's say you make the finals. This team with Joe Mixon and Stroud gets all the way there. Like you're absolutely not reaping the benefit of Nico, of Tank, of Diggs having outlier years that would happen if Stroud is a valuable enough pick. But you're also going into the finals against likely teams with Stroud, with 2 of those receivers, if not 3, if not Dalton Schultz on top. So I think you bury yourself when you take the unstacked QB or the lightly stacked QB like that. It can work, but it's not enough of a discount, I think, to do it at pick 75 for Stroud. And I love Stroud, but unstacked Stroud is just not the bet that's going to win you money, I don't think. Okay, 0-1-3-1 here. Thought we'd get Keon Coleman back, but unfortunately that doesn't work out. Fuck, this is a tough spot because fucking Curtis Samuel's got to be one of the picks because we got sniped on Keon Coleman. So that's okay. But we got to get a Buffalo bet in here. And I think it's Kyler. Don't really need a second RB yet. Correlation-wise, I mean, James Conner might be nice to get more Arizona without going Kyler. That would make the RB room a lot better. I'm going to go Kyler. Too tempting to me to have a Josh Allen Kyler build. Think you can make the case that you just make the Arizona bet without Kyler, and then you have Josh Allen hopefully able to come over the top and beat Kyler both throughout the year and in week 17. But that said, I like Kyler enough here. I think we can stack some layer of week 17 texture on top. So we're going to go Kyler. So the team so far, a 2-1-4-1. We got Josh Allen and Kyler here. We got James Cook, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Tank Dell, Curtis Samuel as our wide receivers. Had to reach to get Curtis Samuel because obviously he's not coming all the way back. Dalton Kincaid is our Buffalo bet as well. Could be done with the Buffalo bet, but their guys are cheap enough that we don't have to be done if we don't want to be. Fucked up. It took a Naked Allen, live and learn. Well, you're in Buffalo, Sammy, so you got the grace. But Naked Allen is a little bit tough. There's really no reason to have Naked Allen because you can get Samuel later, because you get Keon Coleman usually falling to the mid-80s, because you get Shakir in the 110s. Like, you really shouldn't have Naked Allen, but it's going to happen sometimes. You just get scooped on everybody. All right, Brandon, this looks very nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Calling QB RB a half stack, rarely catching TD passes, but possible. The reason it works, and especially the reason it works over the course of a season, is because of the fact you just get guys that are tethered to an offense that's scoring a lot of points. And when the pass game is going well, the RB scores more touchdowns. When the running game is going well, the QB has more opportunity to either run some in if they're a mobile QB or just create more production through, hitting their red zone targets. So that's the benefit of doing it, but it's still like, you're coming into a final a little bit undermanned, unless you have a lot of mini stacks on top of your half stack, we'll call it, with the QB and RB like Jeff just did. Fucking Evan Ingram at 90. This room is just something else. 95 for Evan Ingram. I've not seen once. Two-hole team really did scoop up a lot of value. I feel like the overall team doesn't work terribly perfectly, but it's not a bad team in the two-hole. Take Ray Davis at MVS. Sure. Yeah, that's true. Or, Mac Hollins, I guess, if you wanted. Claypool probably still was never a pick. Never was for me. But some people could maybe say Claypool too. Maybe try to scoop a New England receiver later to correlate Arizona and Buffalo in weeks 15 and 16. I don't know if I don't have week 15 on my board. I don't really care that much about week 15, but that's a good point by Adam. If you can correlate week 15 along with your guys, go for it. I prioritize week 16 and 17 because obviously 17, the highest EV, week 16, a lot of EV because you just gain value by getting to the finals. Week 15, I'd rather let my team just be able to beat the pod, but if you can get the bonus on top, sure. Bills blowout, Wilson garbage time, 80 to 100 points. All right. STL Bree 101. Appreciate you giving me the positive case here. This is Gritty Erasure. Didn't Gritty not show up to Pete's stream on Saturday, which is a wild move for a guy that wants to be noted. Fucking thought we'd get Blake Corum back at a normal ADP, but this fucking dipshit in the 6-hole took Corum at 102. Oh, this is one of the worst drafts. Pick 6 is just not good at this. He took Mike Williams too early. Like, was he trying to do correlation? I just don't get what he's doing. Shakir goes as well. So we will not get him as part of our Buffalo bet. We didn't need it, but I would have been open to taking Shakir at the turn coming up. Man, oh man. Shout out, guys. Sammy, peace and love to all except your stalker. Yeah, look, he's not in this room today, so we did okay. Insane that he changed his color avatar though, so like I wouldn't notice him. It's really that guy's I'm not even saying character. The guy's a piece of shit, but he's something. 2141 here. Streaming values are not anything that helps us out too much. Ruby here, really thinking it through. Timing out on Dak Prescott, hopefully. Brock Purdy. Okay. Brock Purdy at 107. I think I'll take Tyler Lockett for wide receiver 5 here. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball at receiver. Do need RBs as well. But there's obviously going to be a lot more RBs coming up. I guess we're going to take one RB with this team no matter what. So, all right. We'll take Lockett here for one of them. I think Benson is in for a decent fall once people catch up with the fact that James Conner is the bell cow back. There's not going to be a lot of upside there besides that. But I will take Trey Benson here for the pick. I think he's still live to get pass game work. And again, we have the correlation. So Blake Corum would have probably been my pick for one of these if he had gone at a normal ADP. Try to get some opposite correlation for Arizona. Instead, we will take Trey Benson. So correlated QB and RB pairings here. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, James Cook, Trey Benson. Do not love Trey Benson as RB2, but that is what he is for right now. Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Curtis Samuel, and a discounted Tyler Lockett. And Dalton Kincaid, one of the bigger discounts of the draft as well. We've gotten some values here. Feels like the team should be better for what this room is, but when you have people just not living by ADP, living lawlessly, it does make things get a little bit weird for the room. All right, Chunks loving the team. I appreciate that. Love being behind an 8 ball personally is sniffing. All right, we get it. You guys do blow. I have not done coke in a very long time. I am not in that life anymore. OG Manson here, our guy Jason. One of my favorites out there. Glad to see him in the mix. Believe Connor has missed at least 4 games every year of his career, like a contingent Benson bet, but needs to be at a lower ADP. I agree. I think that, to me, Benson is contingent value who maybe gets a shot at pass down work, but I don't see him. I honestly don't see him being a 12 touch back. I see him, his best case right now, I think he's like an 8 touch per game back, and that might be pushing it. But, you know, it just sucks because, like, he also didn't have a lot of juice at FSU. Got a lot of volume there. Didn't personally have a lot of juice anywhere besides the pass game. So to me, like, I don't love him as a player, and I also don't love the situation because I think Connor was great last year, and all the signal is saying that they expect Connor to be great again this year, if not better. But yeah, I agree. Contingent value, maybe some pass game work, a little thin. For the Greenleaf, yes, that is also my preference as well. Though honestly, though, I think that there really is a lot of fun in doing blow as well. but it's just like I'm never gonna be the guys going my way to do that. If somebody's got it, sure. Feel you? Someone okay. We'll have some interesting things. That's true. OG Mans fan is the probably king for me. He's in our deck. Probably attributing some quotes in they're not exact quotes, but yeah, Jason, one of our earliest Probably customers. Of course, if you want to get in the world of sports betting, go check out Probly. It's honestly been one of the best runs I think I've ever seen of a betting content creation tool that we've had with Probly, where I've had 4 4-1 days in the last couple of weeks, 3 5-0 days in the last couple of weeks, and yesterday we hit another plus 1050 home run. So if you want to get some sports betting data in your life, Dak Prescott at 119. This guy in the 2-hole. This team is not good, like in terms of what he did, but he has soaked up the most value, and it is very upsetting that all the value is on that side of the board. But yeah, go check out Probly.com right now. You can learn more about it. Of course, we use top of market data for sportsbooks, kind of like using ADP data. You should use market data for most things you do, and people don't seem to grasp that. Same thing for Probly. You cannot research sportsbooks no matter how hard you try. Real-time pricing and the VIG is going to get you. Probably accounts for all of that. And even if you just follow the best bets at Probly, you will start to win more. So check it out, Probly.com. We have a lot at the website now to learn more about it. So check it out, PROBLY.com. That's PROBLY.com for Probly. Oh, there. Too often cut with fentanyl nowadays. A good blow. All right, there we go. Put a capper on the Coke subject, but I have heard that from people as well. That's why a lot of people have to have like the anti-drug thing, the Narcan. I got it. Commercial property sale, hell, almost the finish line. All right, there you go, Jason. Good luck to you. Yeah, this sounds like somebody with Coke. Airbnb had a neighbor with 6 cars in his driveway, including a covered Lambo. That's whenever you see 6 cars in a covered Lambo, somebody in there is probably cutting a line. John Mechie at 126. This fucking dipshit, man. Is he going to get this like thrown out? Oh, just the stupidest team coming to the 6-hole. Like, Mechie's not even wide receiver 5 for sure. Like, he might be the wide receiver 6 for Houston. Oof. My God. Jalen Polko in 127. Is that his ADP now? No, 10 picks out of ADP. God, these guys are just reaching all over. Like, I can't even set stuff up because of how these guys are just reaching 10 to 100 picks in Mechie's case all over the place. He does not have Stroud. No, he's just a very stupid person. He's a person who's not ready to draft in a BBM, which is fine. Like I said it a little bit earlier for myself. Like, I probably wasn't in year 1 either. Do some puppies. If you want to spend a little more money, do a pit bull. Don't learn how to draft best ball in BBM. It's bad for the rooms and bad for you and your money. Well, whatever. 2251 build here. Got to make it up at RB. Wide receiver, still always going to be an option, but not a priority. Come on. Come on. Love when they take the whole clock. Give me 10-second clocks in BBM. Let's see how we do. All right, at this point, I think we just need to add some RBs to flesh out the room. Unfortunately, even though I love Marshawn Lloyd here, would have him ranked pretty close to this ADP. Going to scoop up Zeke, who I do believe has a high-value touch role for Dallas. Eckler's coming down. Could make the case to go Marshawn over him. Because I'll end up with a lot of Eckler naturally in builds where I do go towards Jaden Daniels. But obviously, I already have like half my portfolio as Marshawn Lloyd. I think this team could use a more guaranteed role. I mean, Lloyd does have a guaranteed role. I haven't talked at all either. I'm going to take Eckler here. It's going to be the choice. I haven't talked about, Brett Coleman had an interesting tweet yesterday, basically saying, and I did retweet it as well, because like that's basically, you know, when I see something that's on my brand, I'm going to retweet it. Brett Coleman does great videos as well on YouTube, so if you haven't checked him out, worth checking him out. Film guy who I think does a good job thinking about things. He had tweeted that he was saying that people are viewing Josh Jacobs as this guy locked into a role, but in reality, it might be that Marshawn Lloyd is the Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs is the A.J. Dillon. I don't know that I'd go that far, but I do think there are things with, you know, I'll still take Josh Jacobs if he's falling. Like you see me take Josh Jacobs on stream in the late 50s, sometimes in the 60s. I'll happily do it there. Especially with how much of a bet I have on Marshawn Lloyd. But that said, like Marshawn Lloyd is now getting some whispers from people that I've thought from day one that I think might drive his ADP up a little bit more. And if God forbid he actually is somebody getting all those Aaron Jones quick kind of check down touches along with enough run plays, and he somehow gets to 13 to 15 touches a game, he is one of the best picks in this range because he is he has like Chris Johnson level juice. That's going to be a far-reaching one. Maybe some of you younger guys out there don't even recall the glory days of Chris Johnson, but it's just shiftiness and straight line speed in a way that I think will play really well with Green Bay and their loaded receiver core and being able to get into position, but not having great red zone threats. So I think for Marshawn Lloyd, I would just watch it. I was really encouraged to see that tweet. It's somebody's opinion tweet, so it doesn't really matter. But Lloyd working with the first team enough, filling in for the first team when Josh Jacobs was out in minicamp. People who were smart, talking positively about Lloyd's upside. A lot of things I think that can be there for Marshawn Lloyd. So here we go. Chris Johnson fans know. Is Eckler total dust? He's not total dust, but he's not the lead back. It's Brian Robinson who's going to be the lead back. Don't think I've had a draft thrown out, or at least I didn't know about it. One guy 2 years ago drafted the whole San Fran team before he touched another team's player. I had one thrown out. The first draft actually I did of the year, and the big board got thrown out. Then there were a few that we had in the big board that felt like they were collusion adjacent that didn't get thrown out. So I don't know. Underdog does quality checks at random times. They do a big one, I believe, right before the season starts. So you can get one thrown out like end of August is still a possibility. Don't think this guy would get a draft thrown out, but he is like, it's one or two, like it's one really bad pick at ADP. The rest of them are just slightly bad picks. Slightly bad picks usually don't get a draft thrown out. This guy takes Ray Davis 20 picks ahead of ADP, which feels a little bit odd. Or I guess more like 15 picks. Jonnu Smith at one. What is this room doing? Like what? Just don't get what this room is doing today. This is like, there's a lot of really bad market sensitivity when we're in July. Like July is not the time to go grabbing all over. July is the time to go, okay, the market's defined prices. Here's a few things I know the public doesn't know, especially as we get in a training camp and you're reading every athletic article, listening to people. Oh my God. Love affair with Ray Davis. That could be it. I need a gummy. Oh, I'm good. I'm just experiencing it. Again, people really don't grasp. I'm on camera. Like I'm not. This isn't me drafting by myself. This isn't me just drafting on my phone in my basement living room area. Like it's not. I'm trying to keep a stream lively, you know. And also a gummy wouldn't hit for a while. So what would that do for me? I need a fat blunt in here. That's what we need. All right, 2, 4, 5, 1 for me. Really perplexing things going on in this room. Truly. All right, Dotson goes. I would have been willing to scoop the Dotson value. I just don't believe in Pearsall at all. Is my issue with this pick right now. There's a pretty big discount for Pearsall. I just don't know what that does for me, really. We did talk earlier about the New England correlation stuff, so I'm actually just going to double tap New England here, I think. Hunter Henry, one of the picks to close me out at tight end because I don't have any tight ends left at this point. And Antonio Gibson's going to be my other pick because I think I can use RB more than I can use Ricky Pearsall uncorrelated. So we're going to salvage. Is that wrong? I feel like ADP wise, it is wrong to reach 10 picks for Antonio Gibson. Ugh, I hate Pearsall. I'm going to share Pearsall. I just don't know what the path for playing time for Pearsall is. Like, I really don't think there is one. But a 14 pick ADP discount, I think we have to do it. Mooney for a Washington bring back. It's a pretty lean bring back. He's a better pick than Pearsall, I guess, but I do want to have my Mooney exposure in more of Washington full builds if I can. So let me give this team a read here. So we're done at tight end, 2-4-6-2. Done at QB. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray is the QBs. James Cook, Trey Benson, Ezekiel Elliott, Austin Eckler as your RBs. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Curtis Samuel, Tyler Lockett, Ricky Pearsall. So big Buffalo bet. Pearsall, who I just don't like very much. I think he's an okay player, but he needs a trade. He, like Burton, needs something to go wrong there for him to actually even pay off at this ADP. That's how I feel about it. But 14 pick discount, I think you can't pass that up. It's not good best ball to pass up a 14 pick discount. Dog Kincaid, Hunter Henry are my picks there. So we've got some New England week 15 correlation, I guess. Week 16 as well against Buffalo. There you go. It does make getting him, it's just, even still, I want Pearsall where I'm getting a discount in a Niners build where I have some Niners stuff, maybe a Detroit build where I have that. It's just Pearsall's very talented, but they just paid Jennings. They still have Debo, still have Ayuk. I expect Ayuk's contracting to get solved at some point soon. You still have Kittle there. It's there's enough way. Yeah, obviously McCaffrey takes a lot away. I just don't see I've never seen the price tag for Pearsall. I don't agree with it. I think he should honestly be Roman Wilson territory to me, but he's not. Redshirt year for Pearsall, that's how I feel too. He's contingent value for next year. He's when they move on from one of the guys next year, then Pearsall matters a lot more. Take him in Dynasty. Take him in Index ADP at Dynasty. Great. For best ball, I think you're likely to get a lot of zeros. People asking about reporting. I don't think you can report in these rooms. I mean, there's probably some way, but it would have to be really egregious. The way to do it would be, because I think this happened last year, where you have people colluding very obviously in a room, and then you post a screenshot on Twitter and tag, and it'll maybe pop on some people's For You pages, and they'll retweet it. That'd be the way I would really say. If you see a room that's egregious that something happened, then you do it that way. You could try support. I don't know if support's going to help you out too much. I'm also not a Pearsall guy, but I was never a believer the Niners would trade anyone. Same thing for me. I think Pearsall's talented, but it was one of my biggest lessons from last year. And I think people still have a hard time with it from what I've seen, where it's you can't just always take the young guys. Young guys have to have a viable path to getting where they need to go. And the talent level can be there. I thought Kendre Miller was very talented last year, but he was hurt to start training camp. He was hurt when Kamara was suspended. Then he couldn't quite get all the way there. And frankly, Dennis Allen is hard on his guys in a way that Kendre was never going to have an easy pathway. These guys have to be able to get on the field and earn roles. Pearsall can earn a role to a certain amount, but as soon as Ayuk is back out there, Pearsall's not beating him out. Ayuk is one of the best receivers in football. Debo's the most versatile weapon in football, or one of them. Pearsall just can't beat those guys out. And Juwan Jennings, for his flaws, what happened in the Super Bowl when they needed the ball to move and they had their guys covered? They went to Juwan Jennings. They ran him out there a lot, and he had one of his best games. So you have three guys there who are all valued to some amount. And you also have Jacob Cowing, who's lower draft capital for sure, but he's a producer too, who can kind of muck things up if you're comparing these guys one-to-one. So I think to me, that's sort of the main things I see is that Pearsall's blocked. He's just blocked from getting a role, barring injury. Your Ronnie Bell's got to come down, but Ronnie Bell was pretty good last year too. He wasn't a bad player. Ayuk doesn't want to be there, and Debo and Kittle are constantly injured. It's a good bet. I don't think it's a good bet, man. I don't agree at all. Again, contingent value bets should never be your bets, really. And I say that from somebody that has tried to go hard at contingent values a couple times and gotten them right. I got Naheem Hines when Jonathan Taylor got hurt. Who would be another one? That's really the biggest one that I'll never forget. Elijah Mitchell with CMC last year, where Mitchell had a role the year before last. That role went away. I just think contingent value bets are one of the worst bets you can make in a top 130 ADP. I would say top 150. Contingent plays will kill your portfolio more than anybody will ever tell you. We have a 2-4-6-2 here. We made our bet on New England. I think this could be a J.K. Dobbins team. New England Chargers, week 17, probably a defensively minded matchup would be okay. Dobbins will be one of the picks. And I think Michael Wilson makes sense as the other pick for some more Arizona correlation. Not a big Malachi Corley guy at his current ADP. If he were to come all the way back around, I could live with him. But that's going to be the picks here. So the team so far, 2-5-7-2. Hero RB technically with James Cook. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, James Cook, Trey Benson, Ezekiel Elliott, Austin Eckler, J.K. Dobbins. Feels like the team could use a 6th RB. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Curtis Samuel, Tyler Lockett, Ricky Pearsall at a big discount, and Michael Wilson at a slight discount. Dalton Kincaid, another discount there. Hunter Henry at ADP. So we've got layers of correlation. We don't have a Rams bring back, unfortunately, because Demarcus Robinson went early, I think. Demarcus Robinson went 171, so basically at his ADP. Would have happily taken Demarcus Robinson on the way back. It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. Yeah, the Niners were incredibly concentrated on offense. They were. Certainly a Pearsall could change that. The thing for me with Pearsall, too, he's not a great target earner. He wasn't at Florida. He was really efficient, wasn't a great target earner. So when you pair those things together, that's my concern. But I took Pearsall in the draft, so I should be making the pro side of the Pearsall case. But I have to tell you guys, like when I take a player and I have really obvious objections to them, I do try to vocalize them. Terrence is a Niners fan, loves Pearsall, but Shanny's running it back with the vets one more year before the gang breaks up. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it. Yeah, and Jennings is a good blocker. It's a good point. And that's why I said, and the part that I said about the Super Bowl too, like, playoff performances functionally don't matter. That's what led to Gabe Davis getting steamed up too much. That's what led to people taking Juwan Jennings earlier in the year before the draft a little bit too much. That said, like when you get into the playoffs and the defenses tighten up, who the team relies on when the top guys are covered is sometimes a tell as to what the team wants to happen for their third spot. And obviously Pearsall wasn't on the team for the Super Bowl, but I do think when you look at that Super Bowl game and it's like, okay, Debo's covered, Ayuk's not having a good game, Kittle wasn't doing enough there, or enough to carry the team to a title. They then fed Juwan Jennings, and Juwan Jennings had one of his best games of the year. So I think that's the part that I read into it a little bit more. But again, just for Pearsall, this might be, I'm gonna check it right now. This is my first year of Ricky Pearsall all year. So I am not coming to this blindly. That is a choice bet. All right. Picks coming up here. I'll give the quick plugs. Guys, please subscribe down below. Hit the like button. Your support goes a long way here. As again, I do my work here on stream. I try to explain both sides of the case because ultimately this is all a game of probabilities. Everything in betting is a game of probabilities. That's why my betting company is called Probably. But that's what we try to do here. Try to talk about the game theory, talk about the logic, talk about the things we know, things we don't know yet. So please subscribe here. Hit the like button. New drafts every Monday to Saturday at 11 a.m. And of course on Twitter as well. Putting on both these days. So YouTube and Twitter every day at 11 a.m. And of course, I would say go check out Drafters, promo code SPLASH on there. It's a $100 in deposit match and great rake back as well. If you put in 10 entries, you get a free entry. You put in 100 entries, you get 7 free entries. Good deals on Drafters along with 17 weeks. No pods, no playoff pods, full point PPR. And again, I put in 9 entries last year, finished top 110. So I do believe your dollar will go further on Drafters. If you check it out, promo code SPLASH. Link in the description too if you want. And why not? Stochastic too. Playing some DFS. Just want to gamble a little bit in the summer. MLB is still going this week. PGA, always going off. NASCAR. They have Sims tools for them all. MMA. I think my pal Greg Ehrenberg, who's been on Splashway before a couple times, he won $50K this weekend playing PGA, and he's not like a PGA guy using their tools. So Stochastic as well. Link in the description there to get 15% off any of their packages. Data, Sims tools, whatever. All right, what do we got coming back here? Oh, fucking 6-hole pick Deuce Vaughn too. Like, it's like he's trying to build a team that I can hate in every possible way. Which kudos to him for being able to do it. He's sticking the landing on building a team that I hate. WNBA is where the money's at. I wish I had the ability to put more money into WNBA because I think I could build the best projections that exist in WNBA because my NBA projections I think are some of the best and it's the same data points. But sadly, not for me. Probably has been doing well with WNBA bets, but I've not played WNBA DFS at all if it's a thing that's worth playing. 2572 here. I do think that Bigsby is a better bet than Eli Mitchell. I'm not going to go that way. Actually, you know what? This is probably an Audric Estime spot. We've got New England here. We've got Chargers. I think that, well, the New England part didn't matter, right? Yeah, New England plays Buffalo. Never mind. But we got Chargers that correlates with Denver. So Estime will be one of the picks to give us an RB6. RB7 or wide receiver 7. Oh, we need one more receiver too. Fuck me. 2672. Allen Murray. MVS. Can MVS just run wind sprints one more time? Oh, God. First share of MVS. Don't like it. Don't want it. But we'll do it with Josh Allen. 2682 build here. We got Josh Allen, Kyler Murray. RB, we have James Cook, Trey Benson, Ezekiel Elliott, Austin Eckler, J.K. Dobbins, Audric Estime. I think I mistimed my pocket for starting RB a little bit. If I had started a little bit earlier and Benson were my RB3, I think it would look a bit better. That said, Cook, we're making a hero RB bet on him, so the hope is that he can really break out. By the way, don't draft Noah Gray. Jared Wiley is enough in the mix that Noah Gray is probably a wasted pick, even in round 18. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Curtis Samuel, Tyler Lockett, Ricky Pearsall, Michael Wilson, MVS. Should have maybe taken Tez Walker over MVS as a bring back for Tank Dell, but I made the choice I made, increase the Buffalo bet for free with MVS, and let's fucking pray. And then we have Dalton Kincaid, Hunter Henry as our tight ends. I like the team. I feel like this team should have been better given how bad this room was. Like, this feels like a room that I should have, that I should have a team that I took advantage of the room, and I'll forever hold this team in a certain amount of esteem. Instead, I think I built a nice little team that has a good shot to win the pod. Beyond that, who knows? Please create WNBA projections, Spags. I think RotoGrind is the only site doing them. It's so niche. It does take time, but maybe. Sean's in the $2 drafters, so good news. Seems like Sean took the drafters promo code, or if he's not, you should go play on drafters. $2 tournament as well is a lot of fun on there with a pretty big prize. I think that's like $20K to first. But the drafters mailing is the one though that we're giving away tickets on Friday, or on Saturday rather. 4 tickets being given away on my Saturday drafter stream, where I'll be doing a double header. So if you want to draft with me on drafters is the place to do it, because we just don't hurt each other quite as much being in the same room. So check out drafters. Promo code SPLASH on there, and the link in the description too. Of course, Underdog is where you saw me draft today. Please check that out if you have not. Deposit on there using the promo code SPLASH. Get $250 in bonus cash. That is the best deposit match deal, bonus cash deal you'll find out there. So check it out at Underdog. Promo code SPLASH as well on there. Stochastic promo code SPLASH. Probably promo code SPLASH as well. And probably is the big one. Go to probably.com, PROBLY.com. If you want to get into sports betting and get into sports betting using the best tool in the business at the best price in the business, you'll be able to get that at Probably. And you can also get half off plus a 7-day free trial at Probably. Use the promo code SPLASH at probably.com, PROBLY.com. Thank you all the fine folks who hit the join button. You too can support the channel and my work here. $4.99 a month, $4.99 a month. You get 10 team reviews a month from me, a VIP Discord, and my rankings, which get updated weekly. You can export them into Underdog. You can also read up to 275 player blurbs, actually over 275 player blurbs on there, along with EPA metrics that I use from Sports Info Solutions. A lot of good stuff in there. So check it out. Hit the join button and you'll get access to it immediately through the YouTube channel. And I'll be back tomorrow, guys. So, hey, follow me at Chris Spags. Follow the show at Splash Play Pod. Of course, gamble responsibly as well. In the meantime, don't draft like the guy in the 6 hole. That's the PSA. We just did like a no drug use PSA. Don't be the guy in the 6 hole. Draft your team and read an article about best ball before you do it. That's what gambling responsibly probably is. But I'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time, guys. So I'll see you guys then. Enjoy your days. And of course, good luck. Bye-bye.